I don't think it's worth debating on the floor today because we have a difference of opinion. And I would like to tell you we know exactly what the legislature that I intend to sue, and the state government I intend to sue if this passes, would be saying. But I requested that opinion 9 days ago on the 14th, and I don't have it today. And that's a common thread in this building right now, Mr. President. It's a common thread you better address within the next 72 hours, or come Monday, there's going to be a serious issue in terms of any bipartisan cooperation. Second floor letter I have on my desk that was put out by one of the good senators across the aisle, and it's from COSA, which is the Confederation of Oregon School Administrators. And I do want to point out that the good carrier of the bill mentioned that LRO just late yesterday came out with some documentation, and I actually just noticed we have two people with LRO here, so I'm absolutely confirming that they're sitting on the far side of the aisle at this point, Mr. President. They came out with numbers, and in here, one of the individuals that spoke earlier said 61% of it flows to the top 5% income. I would say that's correct. I would also say that there are plenty of records in the legislative revenue documents in which they oversee the Senate Finance and Revenue Committee for at least the 8 years I've been on there, and I believe the 4 years Senator Bertschiger has been on there, and we have been looking at this top 1% that's the problem area. Because the really reason is you take this 61% and you're talking about middle income individuals and small business owners. I'm going to come back to that, Mr. President. And the COSA letter then says we've got to do this now, and I have another floor letter. If I hear one more irrational or false comment on the floor, that floor letter is going out, Mr. President. This letter says we got to protect education. There is not one thing in this bill that does anything to direct one dime in this bill to education. Yesterday, despite all of what's being said, in a meeting with 3 state senators, the state economists pointed out that yes, revenue will be up next year $1.1 billion. Next, Mr. President, the good carrier mentioned one of 2 letters. Let me say that again. One of 2 letters the Revenue Committee received from the Tax Foundation. And I have that on your desk here. It's easy to see because it says pick your poison. The letter that you have that says pick your poison on the front side says Oregon should consider decoupling for the pass-through, and actually it goes into considerable detail about the top 1%, so on and so forth, and that Oregon should pick its own way. Don't disagree with that. It doesn't say you should go do it now, it says you consider it. Now, if you flip the letter over here, because I say pick your poison, the back side is another letter from the same tax foundation that says, Measure 97 and gross receipt tax proposals are a threat to Oregon's climate. Let me say it again. Measure 97 and gross receipts tax are a threat to Oregon's climate. So, when we were discussing gross receipts tax, suddenly the tax foundation did not know what they were doing. So pick your poison. Now in the bill, Mr. President, the interesting thing is that there are 2 portions of this bill, and I think we need to get on the record so that we understand the dynamics of these 2 portions of it, so when we vote on it. At the top of the revenue impact statement that you have on your desk, I believe, or you can get on OLS, it outlines that the first portion is the opportunity grant, which is a good idea to help low-income students with grants. Now, the interesting portion of that is that you have to bid on these grants, so it means only high-income individuals can bid at it. And here's an intriguing thing. We're taking a tax credit out of the general fund, this fund we're supposed to be doing to help students, you said, and putting it back over into the grant fund, which does help students. So I suppose we're directing the fund, and there's some positive benefits to that. But let's just cut to the chase. The reason we're doing this is the SALT. This was not presented to me as let's go help these students. It was presented to me as we are mad because of the SALT. That's the state and local tax deduction. And so this is a way Oregon can join California and New York and poke the federal government in the eye. And for $14 million, we're not even going to get the Senate Democrats and the U.S. Congress to pay attention to it.